Some post for you, Poirot.
Mr. Hercule Poirot, you fancy yourself, don't you, at solving mysteries that are too difficult for our poor thick-head British police. Let us see, Mr. Clever Poirot, just how clever you can be. Perhaps you'll find this nut too hard to crack. Look out for handover on the 21st of the month. Yours extra, A, B, C.
Oh, it's some sort of joke.
Maybe, but please remind me to inform Chief Inspector Japp.
It's here, Poirot. The murder took place in this street. Grim place indeed.
Tout à fait, Hastings. The streets of Andover are in a terrible state.
Look, there's Chief Inspector Japp. He's talking with a policeman.
Let us try not to get our shoes wet.
Так, что тут у нас? Жирненький творог. Котик. Нашла котика. Что это? Маленькие серые клеточки. Так. Тут всё понятно. Поехали смотреть, что у нас тут дальше. Пилотики. Висятся, как говорить.
Don't dilly-dally, Poirot.
Чё, ебаться в мусорке?
Over here, it's Hastings and Poirot. You missed the 9 o'clock train?
We took the 10:30. Luckily, the service is good to Andover.
So, Chief Inspector, what do we have?
The victim is called Alice Asher. She owned this tobacco shop. She was killed yesterday with a blow to the back of the head.
At what time?
Let me just check.
Забавный механизм. Окей.
Is Japp being too relaxed? Let us find the clues that prove it.
Что это? Борода и глаза? О!
Japp is in a good mood.
На самом деле
I bet he thinks he's already caught the culprit.
The last customer to see Mrs. Asher alive left her shop at 5:30. The body was found at around 11 in the evening by an officer doing his rounds. The shop door was open. That's what alerted him.
Had anything been taken?
A little tobacco maybe, but you'd hardly murder for a few smokes. There's nothing of any real value in the shop.
What type of woman was Mrs. Asher?
In her 50s, married but separated, no children.
A husband?
Aha, Franz Asher, the husband. Alcoholic and violent. It's said that he regularly insulted his wife and threatened to kill her.
Так, насколько меня слышно? Сейчас проверим. Раз, два, три, раз, два, три. А еще мне хочется проверить, насколько при полном развороте работает. Так. О, совсем тихо. Вообще. Окей. Сейчас прибавим еще. Так, сейчас. Ага. А вот так? Блин. Как мне сделать громче, интересно. Еще тише сделать? Сейчас попробуем. А так? О, класс. Игру слышно? Так. Раз, два, три. Так, спросить мнение.
We'll look for Franz Asher. If he doesn't have an alibi, the case is closed. A very unoriginal murder.
Peut-être. May I examine the crime scene?
Of course, old chap.
I'll be with you in a minute, Poirot.
Угу. То есть игру сделать громче? Так, окей, сейчас сделаем. Вот так? Кисик. Так, смотрим подсказки. Окей. Блин, они такие кривые тут все. Невозможно. Так, попробуем еще раз поговорить.
I'll be with you in a minute, Poirot.
Окей.
Chap is in a good mood. I bet he thinks he's already the culprit.
Сереж, звук нормальный? Пиши в чатик. Блин. Так. И меня очень плохо слышно? А, окей. То есть еще громче. Ага. То есть игру прибавить, так? Ага. Окей. Сейчас прибавим. Себя не буду трогать. Так. Раз, два, три. Раз, два, три. А что если так? Сейчас тыкну. Где он там?
I'll be with you in a minute, Poirot. I'll be with you in a minute, Poirot.
Окей. Ура! Наконец-то настройка микрофона и звука игры произошла успешно. Класс. Спасибо, Сережа. Так, что у нас здесь? У нас здесь все плохо. Смотрим. Класс. Тут
It's
можно
not
вертеть.
just any railway guide. It's an ABC.
Тут можно вертеть.
It's open at the letter A. There are no prints on the book.
У него такой классный акцент. Все, больше
It's not just any.
бла-бла-бла-бла. Открыт на букве А, сейчас он скажет.
It's open at the letter A. There are no prints on the book.
Блин, это реально очень крутой акцент.
Red liquid is oozing out. Is it blood?
Давайте поможем. О!
No. It's just some strawberries that are losing their juice.
Так, что у нас тут? И еще
The
подсказка.
counter is covered with
Класс.
fingerprints all on top of one another. Unfortunately,
Ну и зря. Очки эго. Что это? Так.
she has a packet of Play cigarette next to her hand. Did she drop it when she fell? She just has one wound on the back of the head. This poor woman's head is resting in a very even-shaped pool of blood.
Правильный кровь.
This poor woman... I can't see any other mark. I can't see... The body is hidden by the counter and is not visible from the tobacco shop's door. Many customers might have thought that...
Пока из того, что я вижу, механика довольно простая, и все вполне себе логично и очевидно. Что может быть, в принципе, характерно только для первого задания.
The place is unusually tidy for a crime scene.
Вот эта механика довольно интересная, но я пока плохо понимаю, что она дает.
Nothing suggests any sign of a fight.
Как очки эго. Давайте посмотрим, что у нас здесь. Здесь у нас механика похожая на ту, которая у нас была в одном из последних Шерлок Холмсов, где муж у нас находить доказательства. Пипец, случился. Так, давайте смотреть. Если что-нибудь из чего.
The door is... There are cigarette packets.
So, Poirot, any news?
So, an ABC guide with no fingerprints but prints all over the counter.
Normally, the tobacco shop does not sell.
Exact. Mon ami, could you have a word with the neighbors?
Of course, my friend, I'll do it straight away.
Nothing suggests any sign of a fight.
Мы все видели. Пойдемте смотреть наружу. Прогресс-бар с хищем, конечно, очень классный. Так. Бегающий крысы.
This place is run down. This is a really cutthroat neighborhood. Anyone could have committed the crime. Dash! A puddle. How clumsy.
Интересно, если несколько раз вляпаться в уже ничего очевидно. Давайте, кстати, посмотрим. Что это? Как работают эти серые клеточки? Что-то пошло не так. Так. Ну, допустим. Так, не быть мне Пуаро. Потому что я не понимаю, что он от меня хочет. А, ну да, крови. Все логично. О! Класс. Нейрон.
Mrs. Asher was killed here. The absence of marks in the shop and the regular shape of the blood stains indicated beyond a doubt.
Вот, отлично. Мы получили плюс 5 очков бега. Касса.
The till does not appear to have been touched. I have to check that nothing is missing from it.
Тревожная музыка. Ничего, ничего, ничего. Что это?
Ah, a mechanism has just made... it would be best to examine. The till is full of money, but there is something strange. Something is hidden. Something is hidden underneath.
Деньги, деньги. Где взять деньги? Как-то скверно. Хотя, да, уже все-таки не та игра. Что это? 8. С минус. 2. 8, 2. А тут что, 5? 8, 5, 2. Что это? 8, 5, 2. Класс.
This must be the key to the...
Дайте ключ. Дайте ключ. Отлично.
The door is locked.
Как взять ключ? Инвентарь. Ключ. Шурак. Нет. Это все не то.
I've finished with this. The door...
Каплинский, как взять ключ-то? И... О, класс. Догадался.
Did Alice Asher suffer from blood? An inscription in German. Souvenir of our honeymoon in the Black Forest. To my Alice forever, Franz Asher. The Ashers were a lovely couple when they were young. What a strange box. It looks like you have to slide the slats of wood to open it.
Боже. Черная головоломка, что ли?
It is blocked. It is blocked.
Так, давайте соображать. Тащитики. Головоломка. Вот этот. Ничего не понятно.
This button appears to activate.
Класс.
It is blocked.
Ничего не двигается.
It is blocked. It is blocked.
Давайте еще раз это повторим. Тут типа все. Так.
That should do it.
Эти. Да. Вы издеваетесь? Что это? Как это открыть, господи? Сейчас.
Who is this young woman?
Давайте посмотрим.
To my dear Aunt Alice, Mary Drower.
Have you found anything?
The victim has a niece. I've finished with...
Даблинский, вы серьезно? Самое первое задание и уже третья головоломка. Причем не самая простая. Так, ладно, давайте смотреть.
Such a pretty decoration should be at the center of the motif to...
Кручу-верчу, запутать хочу. А ты не крутишься, да? Отлично. Я так подразумеваю, что сюда поставлю. Окей. Так, давайте подумаем, что у нас ведет вот сюда. Так,
I heard a faint sound as if some...
что тут открылось? Что это такое?
it is blocked.
Нет,
It is blocked.
давайте. Ручки. Птичку. Уи! Блинский. Шуршит. Так, ладно.
These drawings appear to be attached to...
А, их нужно сопоставить. Это у нас. Сейчас проверим. Стремление птичка. Желтая. Ягода.
Medicine.
Все. Больше ничего нет.
Laudanum-based cough medicine, Mrs. Asher, and Dover Morley Laboratory, London. It's strange to find such an elaborate medicine from a leading London laboratory in the home of such a modest woman.
Тогда Лондон.
Medicine.
Так, Лондон мы уже смотрели. И все. Вот тут записочка. Так.
From Mr. Adam Flint, Royal Bank, Eastfield Road, Andover. To Mrs. Alice Asher, 5 Bishops Road, Andover. Dear Mrs. Asher, further to your request of 12 February 1935, I have informed my superiors of your wish to apply for a loan to acquire the lease of the shop you rent from Mr. Fairfax. Despite the seriousness of your case, I regret to inform you that your request has been denied. The amount of your personal contribution, £11, is not high enough. Mrs. Asher's meager savings were not enough for her to own the tobacco shop, but will largely cover her funeral costs. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Маленькие серые клеточки. Давайте подумаем.
The motive is definitely not financial gain. There is no sign of a struggle. I think I've looked everywhere here. Let us see.
Эй, я еще не все посмотрел. Такая классная печка.
This interior is very simple.
Чайник.
Mrs. Asher lived very simply. I've finished.
А что это за мужик? Кто мне скажет, что это за мужик висит? Да ладно, это серьезно блог? Скиньте мне в чат ссылку на фотку блога. Вот. Так, серые клеточки. Что у нас тут фигня? Ну, не выглядит до 50.
£4 a letters, a lovely large letters, 4 pence only. Strawberries, 6 pence a pound.
This woman appears to be a smoker.
Какая стрёмная тётка. Догадался, что она курит. Ни за что бы не поверил. А ещё и пьёт. Действительно.
She's a big smoker. She must have been a customer at the tobacco shop.
Я первый раз с этим. Давай, подозрительная тётка, скажи мне что-нибудь. Надо
How much are your lettuce, please?
A lettuce? That would be 5 pence,
Только что
kind
говорила
sir.
4. Что за...
And what if I take 2?
Well, 2 are 10 pence, so what do you want?
Nothing, thank you. They do not look very fresh. Did you know Alice Asher well?
And for starters, who are you?
I'm Hercule Poirot, the detective.
You're foreign, that's for sure, with your accent and your odd way about you. And you're here about Alice's murder, I suppose. Well, I've nothing to say to you.
Did you speak to the victim yesterday?
No, I never saw her.
Please try and help me, madame.
Why should I help you? For your beautiful moustache?
Конечно.
Heh.
Красивый.
Come on, move along now. You're scaring away my customers.
Please, do not be ridiculous. One thing is certain. You are lying.
So I'm a liar, am I?
Так, мне кажется, это было не совсем
Get away
эффективно.
from my stall!
Да. Ну, что делать? Пойдите.
Hey, what? Is the greengrocer causing trouble?
No, please, leave her.
I found the victim's niece. She's waiting.
Thank you, mon ami.
Фига себе, как быстро. Только я хотела посмотреть.
A bottle of poor quality vinegar. The smell could awaken the dead.
Самообычно.
A bottle of poor...
Бывает всякое. Нельзя поговорить?
I found.
Thank you. Jap had the body removed out of respect for the
Фига себе, как
victim's
они
niece.
быстро работают. И даже
His attention
порода
is
нет.
commendable.
Класс. Он вышел погулять, а тут уже и дела нет.
Is her grief sincere?
Достаточно.
She appears to be very upset. She's dressed in mourning. She looks fragile. You were very fond of your aunt, am I right?
She was the only family I had since my mother died.
Your aunt did not have any children, is that correct?
No, she was separated from her husband.
What do you think about Franz Asher, your aunt's husband?
He never left her alone. Poor aunt. She used to drop by all the time and make a scene.
Was your aunt afraid of her husband?
He shouted a lot, but she wasn't afraid of him. Why, he used to slink away when she turned on him. He was afraid of her, if you like.
Забавно.
Did your aunt enjoy good health?
She had a bad throat, but she was well cared for by a doctor in London.
Does Franz Asher work?
All he's done for years is drink and gamble, but he used to be a very good cabinet maker.
What does he live on?
My aunt used to give him 5 shillings a week.
Why did she support such a goods for nothing?
He was a husband. She couldn't leave him with nothing.
I understand. You have been of great assistance, mademoiselle. Please take this.
My pleasure.
Well, this Franz Asher does not seem to be quite so dangerous as Jab says. And since Alice Asher gave him money regularly, it was not in his interest to kill her.
Что мистер Рус? Что мы будем делать дальше?
Mrs. Asher lived very simply.
Здесь тоже все видели. Давайте посмотрим.
The murderer probably pretended to be a customer. He hit the shopkeeper from behind as she turned around to serve him.
Так. Чего-то не хватает. На самом деле, вот эта механика действительно очень похожа на механику в Шерлоке Холмсе, только там было сложнее, потому что там нужно было неправильно составить, сопоставить, в общем, улики и в итоге сделать все плохо. Время. Так, ладно. Все усложняется, появится еще подсказка. Еще. Я даже знаю, кто это.
We have to wait for him to sleep it off. He's all yours, Poirot. There are a few things I need to check.
There must be some way of sobering him up.
I wonder what his wife used to do. He must have scared the customer.
He's not in any condition to be questioned. I have to find a way to sober him up. A box. It's Alice Asher's notebook. Ah,
Так, сейчас я не видел. Ну, хорошо, допустим.
Bodley. The fruit seller has debts too. She will... Mary Drower was telling the truth. Mrs. Asher regularly gave money to her alcoholic husband.
Так,
He's not in any condition.
кондиции. Посмотреть нельзя, что
He's not in...
ли зря. Так, идемте доставать тетку с фруктами. С овощами.
Strawberries, 6 pence a pound.
Фига себе, как дерзко.
Your fruit is rotten.
What? A foreigner dares to say that?
According to the victim's account book, you owed her £10 for tobacco and magazines.
Странный подход.
That's a lie. She owed me £1. I swear.
Now, please be so kind as to explain this.
Look at my account book. Alice owed me £11 for fruit and vegetables. I may have had a slate at her shop, but she had one at mine.
Вот это сложно.
She owed me £1. And that reminds me I have to get it back from her niece.
That is quite enough. Your account book has saved you, but I might ask Chief Inspector Japp to throw you in the cells for 1 or 2 nights while he checks your entries. Do you want to go to prison?
Prison? Now that's not fair. I haven't done nothing.
In that case, I am counting on your full collaboration.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir.
Плохо.
Listen,
Полицейский.
I didn't kill Alice, I swear. But it's true that I did go to the shop yesterday.
At what time?
6 o'clock. She left me a note saying she wanted some strawberries if I got some. I received them late, about 6. So I took them over to her.
But you did not see her.
She wasn't in the shop, so I just put the strawberries on the counter and left.
Did you see anything unusual in the shop?
No. Well, maybe one thing. There was always a railway guide on the counter. Alice didn't sell them. Maybe it's the customer who left it there.
You were not alarmed?
I thought Alice had just gone to get her medicine from her room and that she'd be straight back.
You mentioned medicine.
Something for her cough. She used to take it a lot.
Who do you think killed her?
France. Her scoundrel of a husband. He was always after her for something. Well, he's a foreigner. Sorry, sir. What I mean is he's German. That's even worse.
Did you see Franz Asher enter the tobacco shop late yesterday afternoon?
Well, no. But at that time of the day, the streets are packed, and I have better things to do than watch her shop.
I will not.
Все.
The priority is to... The priority is not in any condition to be questioned.
Так, что мне делать?
There are cigarettes.
Надо что ли идти? Давайте. 10-метровый.
Mrs. Asher lived very simply.
Что нет? Не облить водой? Ну ладно. Что это? Все посмотрели.
It's not just any... Red liquid is oozing.
Блядь, что? Уксус. Кормить его уксусом как-то не с руки. А,
Strawberries!
действительно, да.
I'll just borrow you.
Take it.
А,
It's
окей.
what Alice used to sober up her husband. But try not to empty the bottle.
Mes amis, I can say without a doubt that poor Mrs. Asher was killed between 5:30 and 6.
Killed when the street was packed with people. That's rather bold.
I've been talking to the neighbours, and...
No one's seen anything? Or rather, it's anything and everything. Am I wrong?
No.
Bien. We must grill this villain Asher before he falls asleep again.
Смотреть на него. Ой, так.
This man is in rather a bad state.
Да, что-то вышло не так. Синя. Еще. Синя. Нет. Что это?
This man has been fighting and he smells of alcohol. Care for a cigarette, monsieur?
What's that? Scented cigarettes? No thanks.
Bien. I was trying to be friendly, but you are quite right. Let us get down to business. You threatened to kill your wife, and now she is dead.
So what? You shouldn't take things so seriously, sir. Nothing but empty threats. We didn't get on all that badly.
So, if things were going so well with your wife, why did you not live with her?
She was the one that left. Nothing to do with me, sir.
Ah, women are flighty creatures. Did she run away with another man?
Flighty? You talk funny. One thing for sure, if my wife was seeing another man, I'd have given her a good beating.
Interesting. And what were you doing yesterday at the end of the afternoon?
Can't recall.
You had been drinking again.
The occasional slap, sir, that's all.
And you cannot even remember how you ripped the coat?
I got it stuck in a door.
Asha, look me in the eye and tell me that you were in a fight.
I'm looking. No, I wasn't in a fight.
You are right. Looking at the state of you, you did not defend yourself. So someone gave you a good beating.
A beating? No way. All right, he tore my coat and gave me a black eye. You see the state of him?
Very interesting. Who is the other that you struck?
Probably best if I tell you everything. Yesterday afternoon, I met Roderick Tanner. We'd bet on a dog fight together.
An illegal bet, naturally.
Yes, sir. Our dog won. Roderick got the money, but he refused to give me my share.
And you fought about it. What time was this?
In the evening, about 6, I think. We were on the other side of town. You see, I couldn't have killed my wife.
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. The murderer deliberately left behind this ABC as a signature. The absence of fingerprints and the fact that it is open at letter A for Andover leaves little doubt.
Asher's alibi appears to be confirmed. All the same, I'm going to call and check that he did have a fight with this Tanner on the afternoon of the murder. You can never trust this sort of chap.
One thing is certain, Asher was...
But he is not very educated. It certainly was not him who wrote the letter signed ABC. Let's resume, Hastings. We know the murderer pretended to be a customer. He did not kill her for money, that appears to be certain.
I agree with you on that point.
And the murderer left an ABC guide as a signature. Therefore, it's likely he wrote the letter.
Indeed, but that doesn't explain why...
You are quite right. But as for how he did it, we do know enough to try and... The killer enters the shop. Mrs. Asher turns around to greet her customer. The murderer asks her for some tobacco. She turns her back to him. He seizes the opportunity to strike her. He then places the ABC upside down before leaving. Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Asher has a strong alibi and we don't have any other suspect. But what was the point of this crime?
She had no debts. She gave Franz Asher money regularly. She wasn't...
No doubt about it. The murderer is...
And I fear that we had not...
I hope you're wrong for once.
Bien, let's go back to London. If...
No, unfortunately, I have to talk with Andover.
See you soon, then. Are you coming, Hastings?
Well, do you have any idea about the killer's identity?
The crime was committed by a man of medium height, with red hair and suspicious eyes. He has a slight limp on the right foot, and a wart just below his shoulder blade.
Poirot!
Mon ami, what do you want? You fix upon me a look of dog-like devotion and demand of me a pronouncement à la Sherlock Holmes. Now for the truth. I do not know what the murderer looks like, nor where he lives, nor how to set hands upon him.
What shall we do, then?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Do not be so impatient, Hastings. The killer will manifest himself soon enough.
I thought I heard the postman. Maybe there's some news.
I would go and see. It is now the right. Daily Flicker, June the 22nd, 1935. Battle over control of bank system. What will the government...
Больше чуйку.
No doubt about it. Hastings is going bored.
По-любому.
No doubt about...
You're not going to get the post?
Yes, yes, of course.
Так, меня послали.
Andover, Hampshire, population 31,200 inhabitants.
Классно проходил.
Dear Mr. Poirot, well, what do you think? I believe that I won this round. The Andover affair went like clockwork, don't you feel? We're having a crazy time. Best wishes, ABC.
Логично, что следующий будет на Си.
The next crime will be in Bexhill. We must warn Jap to Scotland Yard.
Did the letter indicate anything that might...
To be honest, I think we can already guess something about the next victim. But I need to think about it a little more.
Так. Давайте сравним.
Let us examine this more closely.
Ай.
Certain characters in the two letters may have similar defects. Yes, this I is weird. Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. The W... Right, let us compare this with the other letter. Yes, this... However, the characters in the two words do not match. Of course, the W characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. Right, let us compare. That's right, the A characters. I have to find some others. Yes, this I... Right, let... Yes, the I... My theory was right. These two... Both letters were written on the same tab.
You surprise me, Poirot.
But there is nothing usual about this case. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
So, Poirot, have you found something?
Oui, I believe so. But I am afraid it is not enough to stop the murderer. Let us go and see Chief Inspector Japp. I will explain there. No doubt.
Очки эго. Классно. Еще можно?
It may...
To Scotland Yard.
А вот, кстати. Нет подсказки никакой.
Like all hunters, haste. Jap has invested a great deal in his career. Jap is an investigator greatly respected by his peers. Jap appears to be snowed under. Jap appears to already be overloaded with work. My news is not going to improve matters. Bonjour, Chief Inspector. I am afraid we have some bad news. I have just...
Are you completely sure it's from the same person?
I have compared it...
I suppose you think he's...
I fear...
Good God, Poirot. Bexhill is very busy at this time of year, and we have no...
Да.
I suspect that the name of...
What on earth makes you think so?
I thought about it when I saw the name Asher clearly written over the shop door of the unfortunate woman who was murdered in Andover last month. When I received a letter mentioning...
So, it's an alphabet fiend. I'm going to have a list drawn up of all the people...
Bien, we should leave you to work, Chief.
You have a few days...
Thank you for coming.
Poirot?
Chief Inspector Jap, your call does not bode well.
Indeed, we have just found the body of a young woman on the beach in Bexhill.
We'll be there as...
Класс, у них было время, и они ничего не сделали. Отлично.
Bexhill is a delightful town.
I do not entirely agree. Walking at the beach damaged...
So the years have not spared you, my friend.
That is exactly what I said to myself when I saw you back from your travels.
Poirot,
Do not be offended, Hastings. I can see Jap waiting for us. And from his face, I would say that things are not looking good. Bexhill seems to be a pleasant little town. Bexhill is a pretty little seaside resort with elegant architecture, although personally I prefer more modern buildings.
How do you do, gentlemen?
Chief Inspector?
I fear your admirer has struck. We haven't yet identified the death occurred last night between 11:30 and 1 o'clock. And we found...
Was she?
Come on, Poirot, that's rather out of...
Are you certain? For women it is often the...
The body hasn't been moved.
Has the press been informed?
Not yet, but I'm planning to.
Nobody has reported.
Not for the moment.
No witnesses are...
Indeed. We've asked everybody who may have met a young woman fitting her description.
It's early days, Chief Inspector, and the news may not have...
I hope you're right.
Hastings appears to be ill at ease. He appeared to be... This hut is locked. These marks have been left by a rope or a braided silk belt. It may... The guide is open at the page for the Bexhill train times. Apart from the marks on her neck, there are... The young woman wasn't wearing shoes or a coat. Either the murderer stole her belongings, or she put... This key is too small to be one for a... She was a great beauty. Strange that chap didn't notice it. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Итак, что у нас тут?
The poor child must have been strangled with his braided belt. Unfortunately, let us now try and get our brain cells. The medical officer should confirm that the victim was strangled with...
That's what I... She shows the usual sign.
With a little luck, we'll find prints this time.
You are too optimistic, Hastings. Our ki- The number is upside down. This is definitely at number 6. A dual locking padlock. The purse is full. Yet again, we can Here is the watch she must have removed to prevent it from getting wet. A top brand lipstick. As well as a photo of the victim with some company. It could be useful to me. It definitely was here that the Betty's first day at work. Mom is very proud of you. Elizabeth Barnard, 7 August 1931. So, the young lady did have a name starting with B, and she worked as a ginger cat, an establishment that must be slightly further along the beach.
Jap has gone to the police. The victim has been identified and her family had reported her disappearance. She was called?
Elizabeth Barnard, mainly Betty. She worked as a ginger cat at the cafe slightly further along the beach.
But Poirot, how on earth?
Never mind. Do you have her address?
Yes, she lived with her parents on the street leading to the beach, number 22. Shall we go?
You are far too impatient, Hastings. Let the poor people take in the news first. Let us go and visit the cafe where Betty worked.
Так.
Could it be the same buildings as on the victim's photo? This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken. Hastings appears to be ill at ease. I fear that this... Certes. But how many... With all these tourists...
I'll be with you in a minute, gentlemen.
Классная музыка. Да.
This is a well-laid table. Nothing is out of place and above. This is a well-laid table.
I'm looking good.
What a pity. I don't have any change to make it work. Something tells me that she's the owner of the ginger cat. This woman must be the owner of the ginger cat. It looks like something is bothering her.
How can I help you?
A hot chocolate and a tea for my...
I'll bring it.
I need to know the time range during which Betty was working on her own. These are the different waiting staffs. I should consult. Where is Betty? Betty worked from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Would she have been alone at any time during her service? Betty worked from 11... Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve? Most probably a single man. This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one. No, something's not right. Betty was alone at... Most probably a single... This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one. Most probably a family. Betty served a family and a man on his own, a whiskey drinker.
What? Gentlemen, what are you doing?
We are searching for... My name is Hercule Poirot. I am a detective, and this is...
That is correct. She should have been here a while.
I fear that Miss Barnard will not be... She has just been found.
How awful. Poor young...
She...
This is most distressing.
What can you tell us about Miss Barnard?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Miss Barnard was my employee. Her private life was none of my business.
You did know at least that she had a young man.
Indeed.
This photo was found. Is this him?
Yes, that's him all right. But I haven't seen him for some time.
I find young people today very hard to understand.
You needn't tell me that. A few weeks ago, they argued just outside the cafe. Imagine what my customers must have thought.
I hope for you that it was an isolated incident. It must be difficult to keep a respectable establishment if your staff show themselves to be so shameless.
The young man only made a scene the once. Jealousy, no doubt. It must be said the young girl was very pretty.
Thank you for your time, Mademoiselle Mérion. You have been of great help.
The customer who ordered the whiskey might provide a...
It is an interesting idea, Hastings. Maybe he is a...
I don't think so. Our regular guest. At this time of the year, there are a lot of tourists about you never see again.
That's what I thought. Time to visit. I've finished. What a pity. This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken. How do you do, mademoiselle? My name...
I know you.
I do not know if that is a compliment. You are Betty's sister.
Yes.
Can we...
Please do. My parents are at the police station. I doubt they'll be able to speak.
Do not worry.
Did you know your sister's plan?
No. I arrived by train this morning. She went out last night.
What was your last...
Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother brought her a pair. The very day it happened. She was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
It would not be polite to visit the house without... Megan invited me to examine... The Barnard appeared to make music a priority in their budget. Their home is modest, but the Barnards are definitely music lovers. This gramophone is magnificent. It is a one-off, without a doubt. What is she feeling at the moment? Betty's older sister is not just sad, she is angry. Hastings always pays more attention when young women are being questioned.
сколько раз он будет подходить к зеркалу и получать очки эго за то, что гладит усы. Так. Давайте поговорим.
Did Betty go out often?
My sister wasn't a child, sir. She used to go out. She enjoyed films, dancing. She was a very good girl who didn't hang around with men. That's what they always say, no?
The pain is making you bitter, Mademoiselle Barnard.
I'm not interested in your compassion, Mr. Poirot.
Très bien, mademoiselle. Would you at least tell me a little about Betty's young man?
His name is Donald Fraser, a very nice young man. Oh, excuse me,
But of
Betty's room is opposite the stairs on the first floor. Feel free to take a look if you think it might be useful.
This young woman is far too clever not to have anything else for us.
Do you think she's hiding something?
That is what...
Surely you...
I did not say anything of the sort. But young women always ruin your judgment, Hastings. Who knows, maybe Megan was jealous of her attractive young sister.
I see. She may have had her sights on... Or maybe she was in...
We have to study all scenarios, even the most unlikely. But I doubt that Miss... While I try and get Miss Barnard to talk, I would like you to try and find Donald Fraser. Bring him to the Ginger Cat. I would like to talk with him before the Chief Inspector finds him.
Время крутить усы.
It looks like Betty was also a music lover, the same as her family. Without a doubt, Betty used to sing. A box of new stockings. It looks like Betty has a very busy life. Betty liked luxury and going out, and being as pretty as she was, she probably did not have any problem getting herself invited. Looking at all the clothes she took out, Betty must... Something on this clock bothers me. This metal disc is stuck. What a strange mechanism. I don't think it serves to turn the hands. The cogs are blocked. The cogs are blocked. The cogs are blocked by...
Так, очевидно, я делаю что-то не так. Хотя бы попробую.
Strange. A sheet of... Strange. This decoration appears... This decoration appears... This decoration appears to be...
Так.
This wooden panel is...
Тут же есть кнопка.
This decoration appears to...
Не работает.
This wooden panel is blocked. I can't hold...
А. Нет. Не знаю. Так, давайте думать. Так, попробуйте.
This decoration appears... The cogs are blocked. The cogs are blocked.
Так. А. Нет, непонятно. Непонятно.
The cogs are blocked. The cogs are blocked by... This decoration appears to... This metal disc is...
Сложно. Чё мне водка? Интересно.
There, that's better. The cogs are blocked by this wood.
Что это поменяло?
This wooden panel is... This wooden panel is blocked. This metal disc is...
Так.
This wooden panel is blocked. This decoration appears to be... The cogs are blocked by these wooden... This decoration appears to be... This decoration appears... This decoration appears to be... This leg is not well attached. 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 Could the screw be slightly loose? Could the... This decoration appears to... Good. It should... Look, a key.
6.
This could be useful. This code probably has something to do with the mechanism above the clock. This code I definitely need an... I definitely need an... The central cock is...
Сейчас решим вопрос.
Ah! Something clicked on... This could be useful. Betty, I enjoyed a wonderful evening in your company, and I hope that we will see each other again very soon. D. My dearest Betty, I know that your art is already spoken for, but you are the most beautiful dancer I have ever had the pleasure of meeting, and I am impatient to see you again. Adrian. A record sleeve with a handwritten title. Betty, I enjoyed a wonderful... My dearest Betty. Medicine to prevent voice loss. This small key should be useful to me. Without a doubt, Betty used to sing.
Перекрутить усы.
A record... It is not the right... Let us see. What?
Господи, что это?
This looks like solfège.
Кошмар.
This looks like solfège. This looks like solfège.
Что-то мне кажется подозрительно.
This looks like solfège. This looks like solfège.
Окей, допустим. Иди сюда.
That doesn't work.
Видит шок.
That doesn't work. First of all, I have to... There is bound to be a clue.
Ага. Хотя уж. Так вот.
There is bound to be a clue. I heard the sound of an...
Ух ты ж, больше подсказок, много подсказок. Так, ладно. Дальше что-то. Восемь, две. Окей.
I just have to put the...
Я всегда поражаюсь, приходишь, что решаешь дофига загадок.
That doesn't work.
Что это, господи? Класс. Шмяк. Боже. Так, кладем. Пускай. Жмем. Жмем. Еще не жмем.
It looks like something goes in here.
А, вот, да, точно же. Уехали. Еще одна катка. Класс.
Oh, Donald. We're in the middle of recording.
Sorry, Betty, but it's not wise. The doctor said you should rest your voice.
You're such a killjoy sometimes.
Betty was such a good singer.
It's true. Did she have any problem with her throat?
Yes, she had to be careful with her voice. Of course, she didn't follow the doctor's advice. If Don didn't insist, she...
Давайте посмотрим.
It looks like this woman is single, but she has feelings for someone. She is looking so intensely at this photo. But is it really a sister that she's studying in this manner? They made the perfect couple, am I correct?
Yes, in a way.
Well,
He's a bright man. He would have made Betty a good husband.
I hear a note.
You must have...
Donald appeared to be very much in love with your sister.
Yes, he was mad about her.
Mad, you say? Being madly in love can often be destructive, and Mr. Fraser was known for being jealous, I believe.
No more than average. Men are always slightly possessive, especially when they are with a pretty woman.
I am not your enemy, Mademoiselle Bernard.
And you are not my friend either, Mr. Poirot, sir.
Yes, but your lies are not helping Mr. Fraser, or you for that matter. I know that Fraser was jealous, but I wonder why you feel the need to protect him.
Protect him? I hope you're not suggesting...
That you are Fraser's accomplice? There is nothing to suggest that, at least not yet. It would appear that your sister's murder is the second in a series that we have to stop as quickly as possible. The first was in Andover, and the same as your sister, the murderer sent me a letter informing me that a crime would be committed in that town. Now can I count on your honesty?
Yes, you have my confidence, Mr. Poirot. Don is a quiet and sensitive young man. Slightly reserved, too. And as is often the case with reserved people, when he flew into a temper, he completely lost control. He could be so violent. Betty was frightened.
And when was this?
The first time was about a year ago. But they rowed more recently. Donald found out that Betty had lied to him. She said she was going out with a girlfriend, but she went out for dinner with a married man. It was an awful scene. She told him that until they were married, she was free to go with whoever she pleased. Donald turned quite pale and started shaking and kept saying one day...
Well?
He'd commit murder.
So you were afraid that he would become our main suspect. I know that Fraser was jealous, but I wonder why you feel the need to protect him.
Exactly. Had you not told me about the case, I would never have dared to tell you about this little matter. Don loved Betty with all his heart. I can't imagine for one instant that he would hurt her.
Very good, Mademoiselle Barnard. Thank you for your help.
Fraser is at the Ginger Cat. The police haven't spoken to him, but they want to.
Très bien, Hastings. Let's see him now. Au revoir, mademoiselle. My deepest condolences to your parents.
Of course, Mr. Poirot. And don't be too hard on Don.
If you say so. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Let us now try and get...
Так, давайте узнаем, был ли у Дональда алиби.
Mr. Poirot...
You've seen Fraser,
He's a big chap. I talked to his landlady before seeing him. She went to bed at 11.
Bien. Megan Barnard said he is a reserved character but with a nasty temper. We will see if this is the case. How do you do, Mr. Fraser?
You Hercule Poirot. Mr. Hastings said you wanted to speak to me.
Yes. I know that it may not be the right time, but I would like to ask you a few questions.
Давайте посмотрим на него.
This
Итак.
man looks suspicious.
Они тут все подозрительные, блин. Чего, где? Так. И где?
Donald Fraser is in a terrible state, as if he hadn't slept all night. And he's drinking White Horse.
Leave me alone. Tell me that it's a mistake.
Sadly,
Oh, Betty,
did you visit Betty yesterday afternoon?
No, I haven't seen Betty for 2 days. I was at the office yesterday afternoon.
Can you prove that?
Of course. But why this question? Betty died yesterday evening, didn't she?
Yesterday, a guest came to the Ginger Cat alone and ordered a White Horse whiskey, and by the look of it, he also appeared to be fond of this brand.
Yes, it's a good whiskey and not cheap. I only drink it on special occasions. Or tragic ones.
Мне что-то с
I
глазами.
understand. Do you know what Betty's plans were yesterday evening?
She said she was having dinner with her sister.
And you believed her?
And why not, sir? She was my fiancée.
That did not stop her from lying to you before. Betty was not a bad girl, but she did like to take advantage of her success with men.
How dare you sully her memory?
Акцент смешной. И у них тут всех акцент смешной.
I am not interested in memories of her, Mr. Fraser. I am looking for a killer, and I need you to be my closest ally. That is, unless you have something to hide.
Of course I don't.
Très bien. So, what were we saying? Where were you yesterday evening?
I looked everywhere for her, but in vain. When she said she was going to have dinner with her sister on a weekday, I thought it was strange. I tried not to think about it, but I was like a lion in a cage. I was convinced she was lying. So I went round all the restaurants in the town. When I didn't find her, I went to the next town. But nothing. I must have got home about midnight or 1 o'clock.
Did anybody see you?
I don't think so. I didn't talk to anybody. I was so furious.
Furious.
Ah, I knew I'd find you here. I thought the victim's young man.
Yes, is all. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Ить. Давайте посмотрим. Все подозрительно, но логично, что это был не он.
Fraser doesn't have...
You are very...
And yet you haven't asked Jap...
It is too soon. But I agree. Without the letters announcing the crimes, Fraser would already be behind bars.
I can't imagine how the murderer wasn't seen.
Let us... The killer and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 6. Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a code.
The killer tries to remove his victim's belt. She panics and tries to stop him. She runs away, pursued by her assailant.
No, there is no sign of a chase. Things must have happened differently. Let us think again, mon cher.
Окей, давайте.
The killer and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 6. Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a code. They keep walking. Then she removes her belt.
The murderer moves behind her and then attacks her by surprise. The body falls, lifeless, on the sand.
Зачем снимать пояс? Я
Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Нелогично.
Without the ABC, we might have suspected Mr. Asher and Mr. Fraser. But by signing his crimes, the murderer is making sure...
Generous? The murderer seduced Betty.
Indeed, the young woman was certainly careless. But not stupid.
What are you planning to do, Poirot?
Return to London, mon cher Hastings.
Длительная игра, в которой то он ночует.
Right, back to London.
I'm...
Right, back to...
Jap has decided to reveal details to the press.
It is not a bad idea. The more people who know, the greater our chances of finding out something of interest.
Poirot, I have a bad feeling. Poor Mr. Poirot, not so good at these little criminal matters as you thought yourself, are you? Rather past your prime, perhaps. Let us see if you can do any better this time. This time, it's an Good hunting. Did you hear that, Poirot? The murderer seems to... He will strike on 30th in Churston. No time to lose. We must prepare our suitcases for Churston.
Mon Dieu, it is already 10 o'clock.
Усы пирамида. Класс. Интересно, можно ему сейчас еще раз поправить усы и получить эго. О, да, класс.
It is not a good...
Проверим. Крокодил. Так, что тут у нас на полу еще что-то лежит. Давайте посмотрим, что это. Компьютер неправильно, ля-ля-ля. Совпадение не думаю. White Horse. Все, больше никак не крутится. Очень странно.
Pour Mr. Poirot.
Бла-бла-бла. Давайте проверим. Чики.
It is not a good... It is not a...
Хоть сравнивать.
Hello, chap. We received...
Where and when?
In Churston.
Today?
I'll check the train time.
Окей.
It is not a good...
Дублинский.
It is not... Daily Flicker, July 30. In this issue, we are publishing provocative letters sent by the killer to... Daily Flicker, July the 26th, 19th. It is not... Pour Mr. Poirot.
Бла-бла-бла. Шучу, да. Смешно ходит.
Hastings, what you are doing is an absolute disaster.
Heavens, we must...
Your height is...
At last, Poirot. Poirot, you were right. I've just consulted the ABC guide. There's...
You see, there is no need to hurry. We will not...
But why has the murderer warned us so late? It's not...
Very good. We should also compare the letter we have just received with the... Hastings' photo album. We've missed the 6:45 train.
Наконец-то.
Right, let us compare this. Let us examine this more closely. Certain characters in the... Yes, this eye.
Да, как
Right,
обычно.
let us compare. Yes, the eye. I have to find some others.
Пропечатан. Фига, это
И
второй
W.
сделать. Интересно.
Right, let us compare. Of course, the W characters in the two letters. I have to find...
И как обычно.
Yes, the A. Right. That's right. The A. My theory was right. Let us now try and get our breath. The letter should have arrived in time. The postmark shows that it was sent 3 days. All the same, the post office took their time.
Come on, Poirot. Your address is... Poirot, the...
I have some news from Churchton. Bad news, I'm afraid. Sir Carmichael Clark was murdered.
Sir Carmichael Clark.
He was a famous throat specialist, one of the best in London. A wealthy man. He retired to...
Are you good?
Yes, let's meet on the train. The victim is called Sir Carmichael Clark, one of the best throat specialists in London. The body was still warm when we found it. If we'd been warned earlier, we definitely could have saved him.
It appears that the murderer made a mistake when he wrote his letter.
A mistake? Lucky for him.
And what if he did it on...
No. He's defined his madcap rules and he's sticking to them.
You go, my friends. I will come. Jap has emptied the victim's pockets and has laid out their contents on this piece. It is pointless.
Так, что это?
A signet ring. An oriental dragon. It's an old piece. Nothing appears to be missing. This place is very calming. The site is exceptional. It is easy to imagine that Sir Carmichael used to enjoy stopping here every evening. The gravel on the path has been sprayed with blood that covers a conical-shaped area. An ABC guide. The murderers. Sir Carmichael's throat was cut. It's a clean incision. Apart from the wound to the throat, the body is just in front of a bush. The vegetation behind the bush has been trampled. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Sir Carmichael had his back to the bush when the killer cut his throat from behind. Let us now try and...
Have you finished, Poirot?
Chief Inspector, many questions remain unanswered, but I am certain... The killer has...
Quite right. He must have known Sir Carmichael's movements well to plan such an...
The murderer struck with terrible...
Yes, blood flowed. It's the first time he's attacked.
Have you spoken to the victim?
I've spoken to the brother, Franklin Clark. I didn't get much out of him. He's yours. I must get the body...
Так. Ну, наверное, с первой частью стрима мы закончим. И продолжим вечером.